YouTube, send the notifications out. No doubt, man. Where y'all at? Man, you know, some of you guys have been requesting some more female nature content, so that's what you're gonna get. But we still got some stuff coming up about immigration and white fatigue and you guys see the stuff that I talk about, man. So that's what you're gonna get. So tap in for the content, tap in for the show. Is Red Supreme. We gonna stay so clean. Yeah, man. Kevin Samuels gives black women and single mothers a reality check when it comes to dating. And get on up in here, man. It's about that time. Now, a lot of brothers in the FBA community, they stay away from conversations like this. And for two reasons, these are two reasons that a lot of brothers in the FBA community stay away from this. A lot of them have a large black female support system. So they don't want to ruffle the feathers. They don't want to ruffle feathers. So they tend to stay away from conversations like this. And the thing is this though, like ignoring the elephant in the room is not going to fix the problem. I said this many times before and I say it again. A sickness that's untreated only gets worse. It doesn't get better. Right? Now, how could people in the FBA community ignore these conversations when you say marriages in the black community is at an all-time low? So if marriages in the black community if it's at an all-time low, then we must have the conversation. Something is wrong. Now, ignoring the problem ain't gonna make it go away. Now, if you're for the community, you're gonna speak on many issues that affects foundational black Americans, whether it be dating, finances, racism, housing, education, history. If we're gonna say that if we're gonna claim FBA, we got to speak on all these issues that affects our community. So ignoring conversations about dating and marriage is not going to serve you any justice. Ignoring the elephant in the room is not going to fix the situation. The problem will never go away. Right? So that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to talk about. Hold on one second, man. I gotta take I'm gonna take this phone call real quick, y'all. That wasn't important, y'all, man. You know how you get those phone calls and people be doing what they do. Bless the like button and support the show. Well, oh man, I forgot about the taste of soul, my brother. Forgot about the taste of soul, man. It didn't slip my mind. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But yeah, man, the taste of soul, man. Forgot about it. But we're gonna get back to that in a minute. Now, one of my partners in a FBA community said this, and it's all love, but I gotta disagree with him. And he said that most people in the hood already know about dating. They already know they're already up on game about this. Well, the results don't reflect that they know what's up. We can't say that everybody's up on game when a lot of these women got multiple baby daddies. They're in their 30s and they're not married. Right? And then you see women on social media complaining about the fact that they have to raise these kids on their own with little to no help from the child's father. So if that's the case, we can't fix our mouth to say that everybody's up on game. Well, if everybody's up on game, how come these women keep landing themselves in bad situations if they're just up on game? Right? Obviously, they're doing something wrong. And we're going to break down that mindset on today's show. You know, we're going to break a lot of that down on today's show, man. So, no, they're not up on game. You got to judge things by the results that people get. So if you're judging it by the results, it's clear to see that they're not up on game. They're making terrible decisions, and as a result of those terrible decisions, their life is now harder. Think about this, man. A lot of ladies pretend to be smart, and this is the thing, man. It'd be a lot of these ladies who got degrees and claim to be educated, but they end up in the worst situations. I had a conversation with this chick. I said, you might be educated in the field that you studied in, but when it comes to dating and men, you are clueless. You got a 3rd grade education when it comes to men. That's pretty much what I told her. I said, you got a 3rd grade education when it comes to men. If you got multiple baby daddies and you're in your 30s and you're not married, it's obvious that you're doing something wrong. Right? Now, you can easily say it's the men's fault because that's you trying to save face so that you don't have to admit that anything is wrong with you. But if you're in your 30s and you got multiple baby daddies and you're not married, you're doing something wrong. The problem is a lot of these women don't want to admit that they are doing something wrong. So they'll deflect and say the men are the problem instead of looking at themselves in the mirror. At this point, it's only common sense. Let me ask you guys in the comments. If you met a woman that's in her 30s, she got 2, 3, 4 baby daddies. Would you believe her if she told you that the men are the problem? Listen, ladies, and you got to take this on the chin. Sometimes you gotta listen to things that you don't want to hear so that you can make progress. Because when a man wants to sleep with you, a lot of times he's not going to be honest with you, right? Because he knows if he's honest with you, he's not going to have sex with you. So a lot of men will go along to get along until they get what they're looking for. Now, after they start having sex with you, that's when they're going to start being honest with you. After they didn't already had sex with you, that's when the honesty is going to come. Ladies, I got to tell you something. If you're in your 30s and you got multiple baby daddies, you're a part of the problem, right? You know, because think about it. A man who's looking for a wife is really not going to consider a woman with multiple baby daddies for marriage. That is not your dream woman. That is not your dream wife. Listen, I was watching a channel and they was talking about how long DNA and sperm lives inside of a woman, right? You know, like when they have sex with a man, his sperm lives in that woman for years. So when a man ejaculates in a woman, it alters something in her body. And if you're dealing with a woman who has received sperm from different men, well, that right there tells the story, right? And this is scientifically proven. This is not my opinion. This woman has energies in her body from different men. Because when a man ejaculates into a woman, it does something to her psyche. It does something to her body. You know, and I'm gonna play that video later on in the show. But for the black community, for people in the FBA community, then listen, man, I'm not taking shots at nobody personally. I'm speaking overall. What I'm saying is this. If you have sex with different men and they, you know, they leave their DNA and sperm in your body, it's gonna do something to you. Spiritually, mentally, and psychologically. And there's no way you can get around that. Hit the like button, man, and support the show. You already know, man. Where the people at, man? Right. Pair bonding, DNA swapping. So a woman who has received DNA from multiple men, she's going to have some psychological issues. It's scientifically proven. Right? So let's get into the content right here. I'm not here to down single mothers. I'm not here to down black women. I'm just here to give them a reality check, right? If we didn't care, we would just sit back and let you. If we didn't care, we would sit back and let you crash out, and we wouldn't say nothing. We'll just sit back to enjoy the show. We're sharing this information with you so that you can see it from the man's perspective, and maybe you can choose a better route. Maybe then you can get to the destination called success. But if you in your 30s and you got multiple baby daddies, you ain't married, you got issues, lady, you got problems. And we already know that most women in that situation will never admit that because they have pride, they have an ego, and they'll never admit that they're the problem, which is why they'll never self-improve because they're not looking at themselves in the mirror. It ain't a coincidence that you have multiple baby daddies, you're in your 30s and you're not married. That is no coincidence. It has something to do with your personality. It has something to do with your behavior. For one, some of you women are some of you women are overly opinionated. You're sensitive. You're always in your emotions. And you can't take constructive criticism. Listen, if a woman can't take constructive criticism, she don't deserve to be anybody's wife. Because if you got more than one baby daddy, you're in your 30s and you're not married, you're the main person who needs some constructive criticism. But the problem is she's not willing to receive the information that may change her life because she's stubborn. She's selfish. She judges everybody else, but she don't look at herself in the mirror because if she did, she would get better results. She wouldn't be in her 30s with multiple baby daddies and unmarried if she really knew what time it was, if she really knew what was going on. It is time to be quiet, ladies. It is time to be quiet. It is time to be humble. And just maybe you can learn something when it comes to men and what men are looking for when it comes to women. Hit the like button, man. Let's get into this content. This is Kevin Samuels. Yeah, women hate accountability, right? They say, oh, you're tearing me down. You're bashing me. No, I'm giving you a reality check so that you can make better decisions moving forward. You got multiple baby daddies in your 30s and you ain't married. Lady, you have issues. Seriously. You're not going to trick everybody by saying the men are the problem, when in reality, you're the problem. You gave multiple men access to your body, and as a result of that, you have multiple baby daddies. You're in your 30s and you're not married. That is a major problem. Anybody with common sense could see that.
Welcome back to Pearl Media, where truth meets perspective. Today, we're diving into another classic Kevin Samuels moment. Let's get into it.
Adam was the first simp because he went against God's teachings and he listened to a woman. Adam went against God's teachings and he listened to a woman. That's why you see all this destruction on planet Earth. Eve was the first Jezebel and Adam was the first simp. Only Jezebels and masculine females goes against a man's authority, goes against the word of God. Only Jezebels and masculine females do that. Hit the like button if you haven't already, family. Let's get into this content, though, in a major way.
How old are you?
35.
All right, so we're here to talk about dating costs or 2 over 3. What do you got?
I want to talk about dating costs.
Okay, are you single or are you married?
I'm single.
Any children?
Yes, I have 3 girls.
Oh, you gotta hold the phone steady. What do you want?
I mean, my issue is I work too much. That's my issue. I work a lot. I'm always at work. Mostly 12 hours a day.
How old is your youngest?
13.
How many hours a week are you working?
I work about 5 days and I have 2 days off. I co-parent with her father.
How many hours a week are you working?
Almost 45.
Damn. Got a normal work week.
Yeah.
You said that's the problem, ain't the problem. I want to hear at least 80. So if working ain't the problem, what is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure. I mean, I put myself out there, you know.
Well, what's the outcome that you want?
I'm looking for companionship. I'm looking for marriage. You know, I have some standards, you know.
Have you been married before?
I've been engaged twice.
So she got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies. Now she's looking to get married, and now she claims that she has standards. Let me tell you something, lady. Once you have 3 baby daddies, you know, those standards go out of the window. Because I can tell you this: the men that you're looking for, they have standards as well. And men with money and options will have standards, and they're not looking for women with 3 baby daddies. Not when it comes to marriage. Maybe to get some sex, maybe for some companionship. But I can assure you this: a man who has his life in order, credit good, money coming in, he's not looking to wife up some woman with 3 baby daddies and 3 kids. 3 kids that ain't his, and you got 3 baby daddies. Men with standards, men with standards will look at you as a walking red flag, ladies. See, it's over for a lot of these women in their 30s already. Not all of them, because some of them situations might not be like this. But what I'm saying is, we're giving this knowledge and information to the younger women so that they don't make the same mistakes as the older women who came before them, right? So it's all about prevention at this point. Damage control. Listen, the only thing that a woman can do, listen, a woman with 3 baby daddies is in a bad situation. She might be in her 30s or 40s and she's not married. What she's going to do is damage control. She's not going to admit her flaws. She's not going to say, well, I made bad decisions and this is how I landed in this situation. She'll never admit that in a million years. Very few of them do. So she's going to do damage control by saying, well, I was young, but she was still having sex. Because you know, there's a lot of these single mothers, well, I was young. Yes, but you still had sex and it was consensual. You was young, you was fast, and you was out there having sex. Being young is no excuse for becoming a single mother. You was reckless with your vagina. You was out there being fast. Now you're dealing with the consequences of your actions. Hit the like button, family.
Well, if working ain't the problem, what is it?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not sure. I mean, I put myself out there, you know.
Well, what's the outcome that you want?
I'm looking for companionship. I'm looking for marriage. You know, I have some standards, you know.
Have you been married before?
I've been engaged twice to the same person.
Engagement queen, y'all.
The first time I was honest, you know, I told him I wasn't ready. And the second time,
Why marriage now?
I'm being honest. I felt at the time I wasn't ready at the time.
A lot of women wait till they become single mothers to start talking about, I have standards. Well, it's too late to have standards, because guess what? The type of men that you want, guess what? They have standards as well. And they're going to look at you as a walking red flag. Some of them might not be honest with you because they want to sleep with you. But there's a reason, there's good reason for you not being married in your 30s and you got 3 baby daddies and 3 children. We understand why you're not married. Those of us with common sense could see why you're not married.
And now I'm ready.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'4".
Dress size?
I'm sorry?
Dress size?
My dress size, I would say 14.
How much you weighed last time you weighed yourself?
Well, I actually weighed myself today. I was 213.
Okay, so you're a man.
So you weigh 213 pounds. This woman is short. She's 213 pounds. So she's overweight. This woman is overweight, right? Then you got to deal with the fact that she has 3 baby daddies, 3 children. Then you got to deal with the fact that she's delusional, you know, and she's over 200 pounds. Men with standards are not looking for women like you. I am not bashing you. I'm just being honest with you. A man with standards will look at you as a walking red flag.
Dress size?
My dress size, I would say 14.
How much you weighed last time you weighed yourself?
Well, I actually weighed myself today. I was 213.
Okay, so you're a man. It's 355 pounds. That's where you need to start looking for men. 355 pounds or more.
Why would you say that? I'm just curious.
Because you're 213 pounds.
So you saying I have to lose weight to get the ideal man that I want? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying,
Now you see how she asked this question. You mean I gotta lose weight to get the type of man I want? Yeah, but then you listen. But the messed up part about it is, even if she did lose weight, you still got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies. So a man with standards is gonna look at that like he's gonna look at you as a walking red flag. See, this is the thing. These women that tell you, well, I don't want to settle. Well, guess what? Men with standards don't want to settle for you. How about that? And then she acts shocked, like she was surprised. I shouldn't have to lose weight to get a man. How many of you guys remember that video that I did years ago when I said black women feel like they don't need to get in shape to get a man? Black women feel like they don't need to lose weight to get a man. Listen, homie, I don't be saying this because I want to be mean-spirited and just like I just want to bash the women. I'm telling you the truth. Unfortunately, that's their mentality. She looked shocked, like, huh, what do you mean, Kevin? I got to lose weight to get a man? Yeah. Yeah. But in your particular case, even if you lost the weight, you still got 3 baby daddies, and that's a red flag to any man with standards, baby. But the crazy part about it is she was shocked, like, I can't believe that, Kevin. I really have to lose weight to get a man? The type of man that I want? Yes. And listen, if you've been rocking with Red Supreme for a minute, y'all remember when I used to do those pre-recorded videos? I did a video. It was like a 15-minute video, and it said in the title, black women don't need to get in shape to get a man, right? They feel like they shouldn't have to lose weight to get a man. Unfortunately, that's their mentality. See, a lot of black females believe that as long as men are still having sex with them, somehow they're still desired. And if they're still desired, then they don't need to get in shape to get no man.
not the ideal woman that. So your man is 355 pounds. That's where you need to start looking for men. 355 pounds or more.
Why would you say that? I'm just curious.
Because you're 213 pounds.
So you saying I have to lose weight to get the ideal man that I want?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
I'm saying you're not the ideal woman that men want. You weigh more than a man. That's why 2.3, y'all. 213 pounds or 5
I'm
foot
very
how?
confident. I'm very confident.
How tall are you
myself.
again?
I'm sorry?
How tall again?
She said, I'm very confident in myself. I remember Minister Jack did a video some years ago, and I said this too on one of my titles. So, you know, me and Jack kind of sometimes we'll say the same things without even watching each other's video, but it's observable reality. So anybody who's real is going to come to the same understanding. She's overweight and confident. She got 3 baby daddies. She's overweight and confident. Those are 3 strikes. She's a walking red flag. I'm going to say it again. She's overweight and confident, and she got 3 baby daddies and 3 children. This is the problem, ladies. Overweight and confident.
That's what you're saying?
I'm saying
Oh, man.
you're not the ideal woman that men want. You weigh more than a man. That's why 2.3, y'all. 213 pounds or 5 foot
I'm very
how?
confident. I'm very confident.
How
in
tall are you
myself.
again?
I'm sorry?
How tall again?
I'm 5'4".
5'4". Man, you are 35 pounds over the average weight for the average black woman, and she's 60 pounds overweight.
Okay.
So you asked,
Thank you.
so men who are looking to marry
Okay.
are not looking for women that weigh more than they do.
Okay.
They want to be able to carry them across the threshold.
He's being nice to you. Listen, men with standards are not looking for women who weighs more than them. Men with standards are not looking to wife up a woman with 3 baby daddies. How could you be this delusional to the point to where you don't know that? And she looked shocked when Kevin told her she needed to lose weight to get the type of man she want. She was shocked, as if this was foreign information. My thing is this: if it was so easy to get the type of man you want, you wouldn't have 3 baby daddies. You would be married and you wouldn't have 3 baby daddies. Logic doesn't register to her. But guess what? This woman is not rare. There's tons of women in our community who think just like this. This woman is not a rare case. Unfortunately, our community is overpopulated with women who think like this. It'd be one thing if she was rare, but no, women like this are very common in our community. If you was a catch, you listen, ladies. If you brought value to the dating game, you wouldn't be in your 30s with 3 baby daddies, and you wouldn't still be looking to get married. You would already be married if you was the type of woman that men were looking for. If you was the type of woman that men with standards was looking for, you would be married already. You wouldn't be running around with 3 baby daddies. This is common sense, but it doesn't register to the majority of these women, unfortunately.
Threshold.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
How tall again?
I'm 5'4".
5'4", man.
You 5'4" and you over 200 pounds? You 5'4" and you're over 200 pounds. Men with standards ain't looking for a woman who's 5'4" that's over 200 pounds with 3 baby daddies. My goodness.
35 pounds over the average weight for the average black woman, and she's 60 pounds overweight.
Okay.
So you ask, why can't, so men who are looking to marry
Okay.
are not looking for women that weigh more than they do.
Okay.
They want to be able to carry them across the threshold.
Okay. I'll work on that.
Well,
I mean, I used to be physically fit, but when I started driving buses maybe about 4 years now.
Okay.
So, you know.
What was your last relationship?
My last relationship? Well, actually, my last relationship was maybe about, I want to say last year.
If you're 5'4" and you're over 200 pounds, you're obese. You're not even fat. You're not even overweight. You're obese. You're obese. I know men who are 6 feet who barely weigh 200 pounds. And they're 6 feet, 6'1". How you weigh the same as me? I'm 6'1". Right? I'm 6'1" myself. How you weigh the same as me and you a woman and you stand at 5'4"? This woman doesn't take her health serious. She doesn't take life serious. And what makes things worse is she had a look on her face like she was shocked when Kevin told her, hey, baby, you're going to have to lose some weight to get him in. What? You mean to tell me I got to lose weight to get him in? Yeah, the type of man that you would want. But guess what? Men with standards, they're not looking for women like you. I got to be honest with you. I'm not going to waste your time. Even if she lost weight, she still got 3 baby daddies. That is a walking red flag. At this point, losing weight is good, but it's not going to help her overall situation because guess what? She still got 3 children and she still got 3 baby daddies, which is a turnoff to a man with standards. I got to be honest with you.
Years, maybe around November.
How long did it last?
Not very long. When
was your last relationship over 2 years?
My last relationship over 2 years was in 2017 when my fiance proposed to me.
The fiance is the father of one of your children?
No, he's not. I met him in school. You know, we reconnected from.
But you got 3 children, but how many different men? 2, 3?
3. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is
3 children with 3 baby daddies. She's 5'4" and she's over 200 pounds. My God, man. Lord Jesus, help this woman.
Fiance is the father of one of your children?
No, he's not. I met him in school. You know, we reconnected from.
But you got 3 children, but how many different men? 2, 3?
3. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so This is what men don't seem to understand. How women can go out and have 1, 2, 3 husbands because it used to require a husband to have a baby.
Right.
So you should have 1 husband, 2 husbands, 3 husbands.
Right.
Was the person who you had your first child with, was he the person you lost your virginity to?
There was a circumstance that there was
the person you
something.
just the person you've had your
And what you got to understand is her baby daddies ain't the only men that she had sex with. So not only does she have 3 baby daddies, she's had sex with other men that never got her pregnant. A woman with 3 baby daddies didn't had a fair share of sex partners. So think about the men who didn't get her pregnant that she slept with. Then you have to consider the fact that she's coming to the table with 3 children and 3 baby daddies, 5'4", over 200 pounds. Then she got the nerve to say, well, I have standards. No, you don't. Women with standards don't have 3 baby daddies. Women with standards are not in their 30s and unmarried with 3 baby daddies. No, you don't. You don't have standards. She'll pretend to have standards in hopes that she can find a sucker to see value in her. Unfortunately, that's the reality. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you the truth.
first child with,
Yes.
was he also the person you lost your virginity to? That's just a yes or no.
No.
Okay, so the person you lost your virginity to should have been your husband. That's
Correct.
4. So you should have had 1, 2, 3, 4 husbands. So you're out here at how old again?
I'm 35.
35, and you would have been married 4 times. You would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 husbands to not be a virgin, to have 3 children.
Well,
by
can
3
I be?
different men.
Can I be?
No. Let me finish. This is how human beings have evolved.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because we make it okay now, still men are saying for a woman to have 3 children by 3 different men, that needs to be 3 husbands.
Right.
And she had sex. That means the man she married should have been a husband. So you're looking for a 5th husband. You're looking for a 5th husband, and you ain't even 40 years old. Why should you have 5 husbands?
Well, can I say something? Can I just?
You can
I'ma
answer
be
my
very
question. You can answer my question, then you can say what you have to say. But you guys can't just, when I go through all that trouble,
Okay.
it's kind of rude to just go past my question.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So the way this scenario looks, you'd be looking for the 5th husband
Okay.
at 35. Why should any woman have 5 husbands?
They shouldn't. That's
Thank you.
insane.
Thank you. So go ahead. Now,
I understand what you're saying, and you're being completely honest with me. I thank you for your honesty. Like I said, my childhood wasn't, peaches and cream. I just want to be transparent. I was raped when I was 16 years old, and I had a child, and that's how my life started. Throughout the diversity and everything that I've been through in my childhood, I feel as though I'm at a place in my life where, I've gotten myself together financially.
we don't care about your money.
I understand. I heard you say that to the previous person. But
See, this is the thing when he said we don't care about your money is not going to make you more attractive. Now, your money does matter because guess what? Why would a man who's not the father of your children provide for your children, and your children are another man's responsibility? That's what ladies have to understand. See, men with children are not asking women to provide for their children. More than likely, the children lives with the mother. A woman like this, all of her children lives with her, and she has to stay in contact with her 3 baby daddies. Men with standards are not looking for a situation like that. They're not. And that's something that ladies don't understand. See, listen, to all you FBA brothers, you're doing the community a major disservice ignoring these conversations. There's tons of black women in the community who's in the same situation. And a lot of you guys in the FBA pro-black community, you guys feel like, well, ignoring this situation will make it better. No, it's not. You can't afford to ignore the elephant in the room. If you truly care about the community, at some point, you have to address these issues. Marriage is at an all-time low in the black community, and I know why. But too many black men in the FBA community ignore these conversations. Why? Because they're too afraid to offend black women. So they stay silent and they won't talk about it. They'll pretend like this is not a major problem. They'll pretend like this isn't a major problem in our community, and I can't respect that, because at that point you're simping. You're too afraid to tell the women what's wrong with them, which is why they'll never self-improve, which is why they'll never get better. Why? Because you brothers are not being honest with them. But you claim to love the black community. But you choose to ignore the elephant in the room. Women like this are not rare in our community. Women who think like this are pretty damn common in the black community. I just got to be honest with you.
Just saying that.
I want to skip all the way to, but that's the point. You guys care about that. It's not how men pick. So
Right.
even if I take into consideration your trauma as a teenager.
So what I was saying is, if she has money, she got to bring some of that bread to the table. You can't come to the table with baggage and children from other men and think that a man who's not the father of your child or children is going to provide for you 100%. Man, you crazy. These women have jobs and they get up and go to work like us. You damn right she gonna spend some bread if she's out there making money. You ain't gonna sit up there and live off my money and save yours. Nah, homie, it don't work like that. Women fought to get in the workforce, so you're damn right you're gonna spend some of that bread. You're gonna bring some of that money to the table. What's the purpose of women being in the workforce if they ain't got to pay no bills and spend no money? That doesn't make any sense.
Still doesn't change the ultimate fact of you had 2 more children.
Right.
And you are 213 pounds. Okay? This is why people think I'm an asshole, because I stay on task.
No,
life happens to us all. I was just speaking with a lady who was dealing with her own issue. We all have something.
Right.
But you have to be what a man wants in order for him to give you the highest honor a man can give you. You gave 2 men the highest honor you could give a man, to have the child.
Right.
And you didn't require marriage. So why are you requiring it now?
See, and that's what a lot of women don't understand. If your baby daddies didn't have to marry you, why would a man who's successful with good credit and his money together, why would he wipe you up? You didn't require marriage from none of your baby daddies. None of your baby daddies wiped you up. So why should a man who's not the father of any of your children consider you for marriage? That is a good question. Why should any man who's not the father of your children consider you for marriage? That is a good question, ladies. People, listen, homie, the problem is they don't want to hear the truth. Why would a man with good credit and his money together consider you for marriage, and you're coming to the table with children from other men, and you didn't even require marriage from the men that you had children with? But you want to require marriage from a man who's not the father of your children? That is backwards. And that's the problem. Too many pro-black men in these black communities refuse to address this issue. They ignore these issues as if it doesn't exist. She didn't require marriage from none of her baby daddies. None of the men who put babies in her wiped her up. But you think that a man who has good credit makes decent money? You think that he's going to consider you for marriage? Why would he? You 5'4", over 200 pounds. You got 3 baby daddies, and none of your baby daddies married you. But you want a man who's not the father of your children. You want a man who's not the father of your children to consider you for marriage. Why? Let me tell you something. The type of men that you want, they have standards as well. See, ladies be talking, I got standards. And guess what? The type of men that you actually want, they have standards. And they're going to look at you as a walking red flag.
Because you feel like you're ready? That's not how that works.
I get it. I get it.
That's not. Okay. You gave 2 men the highest honor you could give a man, to have the child.
Right.
And you didn't require marriage. So why are you requiring it now? Because you feel like you're ready? That's not how that works.
I get it. I get it.
So
what advice do you have for me now?
Okay, well, so let me ask you. Okay. Let's just say you believed me. Let's just say you believe me. And I said, ma'am, in order to find a husband, you need to drop down to about 140 pounds. And then after that, you can get married. Would you do it?
I would, but I'm gonna do it for myself. I'll do it.
That's bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, you need to do it for us and yourself. See, the instincts are wrong.
You see how she said, well, I'm going to do it for myself. No, you need to be doing it for a man that's going to tolerate you and everything you bring to the table. And she got the nerve to say, I'm just doing it for myself. You need to do it for yourself and the man that you're trying to attract. Got the nerve to talk about, I'm doing it for myself. I ain't doing none of this for no man. And now you understand why these women have multiple baby daddies and they're unmarried. Now you understand why I'm not doing this for no man. I'm doing it for myself. And we understand why you're not married, because you're foolish. You have a backwards mentality. You are foolish and you have a backwards mentality. That's how you ended up with 3 baby daddies. You in your 30s and you're unmarried. Clearly, we understand why.
Every other race of women does stuff to please their men. They say, I'm going to stay fit and thin because these men like it. Our women, I'm going to do it for me. That's why y'all are unmarried.
That's why you're unmarried. Shout out to Kevin for telling her that. And that is why you're unmarried. Why? Because you got a backwards mentality. You didn't require marriage from none of your baby daddies. Now you think that a man who's not the father of any of your children will consider you for marriage. That is foolish. Let me tell you something, ladies. Men with options are going to have standards. Men with money and good credit, they're going to have standards. And unfortunately, you're not going to meet their standards. You're just not.
See, the instincts are wrong. Every other race of women does stuff to please their men. They say, I'm going to stay fit and thin because these men like it. Our women, I'm going to do it for me. That's why y'all are unmarried.
Wow.
White men ain't rushing to marry you. Do other women, groups of women act like y'all do? Do you hear Becky talk about I'm strong, independent, don't need no man? What other race of women sit back and tell you all their struggles and traumas and wear them like a goddamn badge of honor? Black women don't own the
right. Black women take their pains and struggles and wear them as a badge of honor. And that is a major turnoff when it comes to men who have standards.
The market on misery and trauma. Mm-hmm. I know plenty of women who came from rural China.
Correct.
Who could tell, look at what you're saying and be like, you live in the freest country in the world.
Right.
So my point is, with that attitude, I'm ready to be married now because I'm ready. Okay, then fine. Then what is a man going to get with you? You're ready to be married. Great. What does a man get with you being his wife?
What does a man get with me being his wife? I mean, I know my place and I know the roles that I'm supposed to play as a wife.
What are those?
I would say honor and respect. I would say that would be my first for me. You know, the typical stuff: cook, clean.
Let's say cooking and cleaning, due respect, it's not special anymore.
Right. Cooking and cleaning is not special anymore because guess what? A man, listen, I cook and clean. I cook my own food, and the food I cook is better than most women. And I clean behind myself after I cook. So you're not doing anything special by cooking and cleaning. That is a basic requirement. That is a basic necessity. You're not doing anything special by cooking and cleaning because guess what? You got to cook and clean for your kids. You got to cook and clean for all them kids you got. So that's something that you already got to do. You're not doing anything special. It's a requirement. That's like me if I told a woman, yeah, I get up and I work and I pay bills. She's going to say, you're a grown man. You're supposed to work and pay bills. Okay, you're a grown woman. You're supposed to cook and clean. That ain't nothing special. That's a basic necessity. That is a basic requirement. That is nothing special.
Hold on, listen. This is what I'm about to say. You got to cook and clean for yourself.
Right.
and your
So
kids.
it's not like you get doing that for him.
Okay.
She got to cook and clean for her kids and herself. She ain't doing anything. Listen, when they tell you, well, I cook and clean, you got to do that anyway as an adult. And if you got kids, you got to do it for them. You ain't doing anything special. That's a basic requirement. That is nothing special. It is a basic requirement. But see, the reason why they say I cook and clean, because they know a lot of women don't do that. Because if a lot of women did it, then that would be normal, and they wouldn't say it as if they deserve a damn cookie. The reason why they say that is if it means something, because they know a lot of these women don't cook and clean. They lay in the bed till noon, breakfast ain't ready. They wake up like around 12 o'clock. Then they playing their hair for another 4 hours. Then they get on social media, waste time doing that for another 5 to 6 hours, and they ain't making no money. They're just scrolling on social media, ain't making no money doing it. Wasting a whole lot of time.
Honor and respect. Okay.
That would be my first honor.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you something, homie. If the majority of these women cooked and cleaned, she wouldn't say it as if it meant something. The reason why she's bragging about cooking and cleaning, because she knows that a lot of women out here are not doing it. And cooking and cleaning is a basic, that's a basic requirement. It's nothing special.
Here's a more precise question. What do you have what do you have to offer a man that a man wants that you haven't already offered to another man?
So what do I have to offer to a man that I haven't offered already to another? That's deep. I mean, I don't.
Because he'd be the first person offering you marriage and going through with it.
Right.
What does he get that's exclusive?
That's exclusive.
She want a cookie for cooking and cleaning. That is a basic requirement. But we all know that a lot of women don't do that. What did Cardi B say? I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got this ring. I don't cook, I don't clean, but I still got this ring. Yeah, from a simp. Cardi B didn't say that just because it sounds cool. She said that because she knows a lot of women don't cook and clean, and they still want a simp to give them a ring. Cooking and cleaning is a basic requirement. That ain't nothing special. You don't deserve no damn cookie. You ain't dealing with no rookie. I'm seasoned in this game, baby.
See, this is a mind shift. This is meant to humble y'all and bring y'all down to reality to realize, wait a minute, just because I say I want this and want that, and all he gets, what he gets from me exclusively is this vague thing called honor and respect. It's very vague. Cooking and cleaning. I mean, men can cook and clean these days. So
I mean,
so you need to understand where the men are coming from, because the men have to pick. So the men are saying, well, wait a minute, you have 3 children, your youngest is 13. Okay, so I don't get benefit of, having first access to her womb, regardless as to the tragedy and trauma. Get it? Doesn't matter. It's the reality. Cooking and cleaning. I had to learn how to cook and clean because this is a modern world. And how many days a week do you cook right now?
About 4.
4 out of 7.
To be honest, yeah.
So you cook half the time right now.
Right now.
So if you got married,
but I'm doing better.
Cardi B says she don't cook, she don't clean, but she still got this ring. What she's saying is men are only dealing with me because of that WAP, because of that wet box, because that's the only thing that she has to offer. Now, of course, now that she has money, now that she's rich and she has money, she can break some bread and give you some paper. But let's deal with Cardi B for who she is, and she was speaking for the average woman. The reason why she said that, because she understands that resonates with a lot of modern women. I don't cook, I don't clean, because a lot of them don't cook consistently and they barely clean. It resonates with the modern woman, and that's why Cardi B said it in that particular song. So women can't get mad if men want. Well, that's the only thing of value that you're bringing to the table is your box. You have nothing else to offer a man besides your box. You're not a good woman. You got baby daddies already. You done had multiple sex partners. The only thing you could give me is some WAP. The only thing that you could give me is some box. You have nothing else to offer. So don't get mad when you say all these men want is sex. That's the only thing you have to offer. It's like the only thing these men be wanting now is sex. Yeah, baby, because that's the only thing you have to offer. Seriously. So of course they're looking for sex. That's the only thing that you're bringing to the table. You're not feminine. You're not submissive. You got baby daddies. You done gave your womb to multiple men already. Come on, baby.
I'm doing
But
better.
if you got married, how many meals a week you gonna cook?
To be honest, I probably would do maybe 5.
Okay, so your
And then
husband, so the husband gets one whole additional meal over your children. Not really a strong value proposition, man. This doesn't sound. See, I'm just lining it up.
I'm only saying that because
Listen. Now listen. You already cook 4 times a week. I want to do an extra meal. I want to cook an extra meal a week for this husband. Now he got to be willing to die for me, and he got to be the stepfather to my children, and he got to be willing to do all this other kind of stuff. And he gets a woman who will give him honor and respect, one additional meal a week, and you're 213 pounds.
Oh,
Is that not what you just said?
it is what I just said.
Okay, so why does it sound so like when you said it's like, damn, fuck? Don't you think that sounds like? What do you think that sounds to me like? Well, damn.
It's
All right, now we're gonna go to the next clip. We're gonna go to the next clip.
How long?
Separated. My divorce isn't final, but I've been separated since 2019.
Hold on, we're gonna go to her real quick. So listen, ladies, this is a teachable moment. Now, the problem is a lot of brothers in the pro-black community, they're simping out, bro. They're simping out. They are.
You were well enough to know.
Let's get into this right here. She's 26, pretty and attractive, but her attitude is terrible. Now, we don't really know how pretty she is because she got a lot of weave and makeup on. We don't know what she looks like naturally, but let's just say she looks good once she fixes herself up, because my thing is this. You got to see a woman in the morning with no makeup and no weave and nothing added, no extensions and no weave, no makeup. You got to see what this woman looks like first thing in the morning before she puts that costume on. You know, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense to call these women pretty when they come to the table with a costume on. Remove the makeup, remove the lipstick, remove the body shapers, remove the wig, remove the extensions. See her first thing in the morning with no accessories, no makeup, and no weave. Then you're going to understand what you're dealing with once you see her in her natural state.
So excited that you accepted my call. How you doing?
All right, how old are you?
I am 26.
All right, well, we're talking about older women are mad about this dating situation.
Well, listen, I'm single, and can you see me and hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Most of these women don't meal prep, bro. They don't cook food like that. They wait to the last minute to get in the kitchen. They waste a whole lot of time doing nothing. Unfortunately, that's the mentality of most modern females, right?
Why am I can't see myself? Okay, well, for any reason.
Bless the Cash App, man. If you guys appreciate this content, me giving you this knowledge and information, medication for mind elevation, and what is the medication? Game, uncommon information. You dig? Bless the Cash App, $red 1803, or bless the super chat. Let's get it. Huh?
You know, I have a hard time finding a good man right now. Like, I think I'm a good. I believe I'm a good catch.
Did you hear what I said?
What'd you say?
Well, I told you about the topic. We just jumped into what you want to talk about.
Oh, excuse me.
And then you're going to say you're having a hard time finding a good man. I let you do that for a reason.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, well, I'll tell you about myself. I am single. I am a homeowner. I have no children. I'm 26.
Okay.
I believe I'm attractive. I believe I'm friendly. I'm nice. So I don't know why I don't got this ring yet.
What's wrong? What's some of your flaws?
She says she's wondering why she don't have this ring yet. Well, of course she's a little overweight, but that can be worse. She can lose some weight. She's not obese, but she can lose some weight. But then even if she lost some weight, her mentality and personality is a major problem. You know, her personality is a major problem. It really is. Right. And she don't understand that, because a lot of men will tolerate her nonsense just to have sex with her. You know why a lot of these women are still delusional today? Because a lot of men will tolerate them just to have sex with them. They'll tolerate their bullshit just to have sex with them. So that's why a lot of women come to the table thinking that there's nothing wrong with them, because a lot of men have tolerated them just to have access to their box. And that alone keeps them delusional in a major way, family.
Well, I am submissive, but I'm not going to submit to just any man. Like, I need stability. I don't, and you know, at my age now, I'm 26.
Okay, what are some of your flaws?
My flaws would be, well, shit, I don't know. I'm telling you about myself.
No, you told me about your positives. Tell me about some of your negatives. Tell me something about some of your flaws.
I don't know. I guess that some.
He said, tell me about your flaws. And most women don't know what their flaws are. A lot of them have unrealistic expectations. They're delusional. They're not bringing anything to the table outside the box that they didn't already gave to other men. You're too opinionated. You don't know when to be quiet. You're not feminine. You're not submissive. I can tell you what her flaws are. I don't even know this woman, and I can tell you what her flaws are. I can tell you what her flaws are, and I don't even know her personally. I can listen to her talk and tell you what the issue is. She lives in her body every day, and she can't tell you what her flaws are. Why? Because these women are delusional. And the reason that they are, well, this ain't the only reason, but this is one of many reasons. Men tolerate them to have access to their box. The men who sleep with them don't like them either. That's why none of those men have married them. They tolerate her bullshit to have access to her box. And when men refuse to tell, when men don't tell women the truth, that's what keeps them delusional. Because if you're not telling them the truth, she's not going to understand what her flaws are, because women live in a fantasy. They're not in tune with reality. That's why she's pretending like she don't know what her flaws are, because most men who sleep with her are not being honest with her. They tolerate her nonsense to have access to her box, straight up and down.
Maybe someone who's dating me would be able to tell you what my flaws are.
You should tell me what your flaws are.
I'm not perfect. But I can't just point out anything that's wrong with me.
That's part of the problem right there.
That's my flaw.
I just said part of the problem. I mean, you're not perfect, but you can't tell me your flaws. But you told me everything that you think sells you. Okay, cool. What are your flaws? You can't name one thing?
I'm being honest. I feel like someone who may be experienced with me can tell you what my flaws might be.
Your experience with you.
I am experienced with me.
See, if you told her the truth, she would say that you're bashing her and you're trying to belittle her. You're trying to put her down. But that's the main reason that she's delusional today, because not enough men are being honest with her. Most men are not honest with her. They tolerate her nonsense to have access to her box. This woman then had multiple sex partners, and none of those men married her. So what does that tell you? They only want the box, but they don't want to deal with her long term. They're only here for a good time. They're not there for a long time. The men, listen, this woman then had multiple sex partners. So what does that tell you? None of those men married her, right? So it's obvious that her box ain't that good. Well, maybe it is good, but it ain't worth dealing with all the nonsense that comes with getting the box. That's the reality. I've been telling women, I've been saying this to women for years. Men tolerate your nonsense to have access to your box, because if you was a good person, if you was such a great woman, somebody would have already wiped you up by now. The only reason that men tolerate you is to have access to your box, but they don't care about, they're not coming for a long time. They're only there for a good time. Even if your box is good, it's not worth dealing with all the problems that comes with it. It's not worth it. Listen, even if the box is good, it's not worth dealing with all the problems. She's delusional. She can't see her own character flaws. And that is a major problem. So men show up for a good time, but they don't stay for a long time. They only tolerate you to have access to your box.
I'm telling you what I feel like. Well, shit, what am I saying, actually?
Exactly.
What happened?
Okay. It's just on you, not me. You're doing something with the phone, and I mean,
No.
you're going into a
Sorry.
job interview.
I was trying to get
Shout out to Royalty for blessing the Cash App. Let's get some more people to bless the Cash App. This content is most definitely worth supporting. Men only tolerate her to get her box. That's the only reason why they tolerate her. Because if she was a good woman, let's say she had good box and she was a good woman, somebody would have wiped her up by now. Now you got a lot of chicks who have good box and good sex, but it's impossible to deal with them because they're too opinionated. They run their mouth. They don't know when to be quiet. They're combative and don't even realize it. Yes, men might stick around to get your box, but they're not gonna. They might show up to get your box, but they're not gonna wipe you up. They came for a good time, but they're not gonna stick around for a long time. And I got to tell you, ladies, something. If you're in your 30s and you got good, let's say this woman was in her 30s. If she has good box and she's a good woman, somebody would have wiped her up by now. So when you see women in their 30s and they already got children, this is the problem. They might have some good box. They might have some good sex. But the reason that nobody has married them because they're impossible to deal with. They have a lot of character flaws. The sex might be good, but they have too many character flaws. So men show up for a good time, but they don't stick around for a long time. That's why you see women in their 30s that's not married. That box might be good, but it's not worth dealing with them long term. It's not worth dealing with them for a long time. That's the reality right there.
I can see myself now.
You're going on a job interview, and you're telling them everything that's good, and they say, all right, well, tell me some of the things you need work on. Nothing. I'm perfect. Oh, I'm not perfect.
Saying I'm perfect.
Yeah, but
No. My problem is I will not submit to just anyone.
No, that's not a flaw. That's a veiled positive. No, that's not. It's not a flaw. That's a veiled positive. See, in the job interview, what that question.
See, what she's saying is, I won't submit to anyone, but she'll give her body to a man before she submit to a man. So her priorities are backwards. See, these women to give their body to a man, but they'll say, I won't submit to just anybody, but she'll give her body to a man who's not going to marry her. You seen the other women, she got baby daddies. None of her baby daddies married her, but she thinks that a man who's not the father of her children is going to marry her when she never required marriage from any one of her baby daddies. They just had sex with her and gave her babies, but none of her baby daddies married her. That's what these women do. Well, I'm not going to just submit to anybody, but you done got multiple bodies. You've had multiple sex partners. I'm not just going to submit to anyone, but you'll give your body to anyone. Well, I don't just sleep with everybody. Yeah, but you still have multiple bodies. And none of those men who slept with you married you. If this woman had good box and a good personality, if she was feminine and friendly, if she had good box, if she was feminine and friendly, somebody would have wiped her up already. What does this mean, ladies? Men like having sex with you because maybe your box is good, but they don't want to tolerate you because you come with a long list of problems. So what they'll say is, I'll stick around for a good time, but I won't hang around for a long time. So men only want to have sex with you, but they don't want to deal with you long term.
Tell me your strengths. All right, here's what it is. Tell me your weaknesses. Well, one of my weaknesses is people tell me that I tend to be overworked, but I'm a hard worker and I just want to do a good job. Now, see, that's a veiled positive. At 26 years old, you know you. You should know you. You should know you well enough to know.
And I'm explaining that.
Stop.
So listen to me.
No. See, that's another one. I've already pointed it out to you initially. Don't do it again. You're not going to talk over me or.
See, when these women tell you I'm not married and I'm single, it doesn't mean that they're not having sex with other men. It doesn't mean that she's not sexually active. What she's saying is I'm not married, because guess what? Men with standards don't want to marry women like you. They'll have sex with you. They'll date you and have sex with you, but they're not looking to marry you. And I think we know why. She has unrealistic expectations. She's not real enough to see her own character flaws. Now you understand why these women are unmarried. Men will have sex with them. They will date you, but they're not looking to marry you. And I think we understand why.
That stuff, because you should know things that you need to improve upon.
Yeah, that's the problem. A lot of these women overvalue their box. See, and this is why they overvalue their box, because a lot of men want their box. So they believe that they have value because men want their box. But this is the reality. A lot of men will sleep with you. A lot of men will date you, but they're not looking to marry you. So that keeps women delusional. They believe because men want they think because men want their box, that somehow that means that they have value in a dating game. No, you're just good enough to sleep with, but you're not good enough to wife up. You're good enough to sleep with, but you're not good enough to wife up. Men are not looking to wife you. They want to one night you, but they're not looking to wife you. I met some single moms who had some good box, some good sex, but they're not worth dealing with long term. That's the reality.
So what I'm saying is, what I have had conflict with relationships is submission. Now, I am so willing to submit. Okay, I'm a very naturally submissive person, but I cannot submit to a man who just doesn't have it there together. So that's my problem. They tell me that.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
She said she's not going to submit to a man that doesn't have it all together, but she'll give her body to a man that doesn't have it all together. Because guess what? None of the men that she slept with had it all together. So she'll give a man access to her body, and she doesn't require marriage for a man to have access to her body. Now she thinks that some simp is going to overvalue her and look past all of her sexual experiences, look past the fact that she's had a whole phase, look past the fact that she's unmarried, and there's a reason that she's not married. There's a reason that she doesn't have the ring. Hey, you must consider all of these things.
So I'm argumentative.
No, hold on.
A lot of these women they're argumentative, they're combative, and they got baby daddies. They're in their 30s and they're looking for a simp to wife them up, when in reality, most of the time it's never going to happen. Men will show up for a good time, but they're not going to stick around for a long time. And it has a lot to do with your character flaws, lady. But you don't want to look in the mirror. You don't want to accept the fact that anyway, let's continue.
They're together. What does that mean?
So for me, what that means is you ain't got your shit together.
What does that mean?
Up. You ain't got your shit together.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I still have no context.
What that means is you don't have stability. Okay? You don't have stability. You don't have a home of your own. You have a roommate. Your brother lives in the next room. Okay? You living with your brother. Your bros are there.
These are men you dated?
Okay, he got a roommate. Guess what? There's men who don't have roommates, but guess what? Men who have it together don't want you, because there's tons of men out here who got it together, but guess what? They don't see the value in dealing with a woman like you. All you qualify for is a man like that, because a man with options is going to have standards, and a man with standards is not going to look at you as wifeable. A man with standards is going to look at you as a walking red flag. You have unrealistic expectations. You're not in tune with reality. You're stuck in a fantasy, and you done caught multiple bodies sleeping with random men. That is a fact. These women that tell you what they require from men, but they didn't require none of that for them. They didn't require none of this stuff from the men they had babies with. They didn't require none of this stuff for the men that they gave their box to. So why would a man who has it together see value in you? You got baby daddies. You didn't require none of that from them. You had sex with multiple men. You didn't require any of that from them. Why would a man with standards, good credit, who makes good money, that has options, why would he see the value in you? He's not going to see the value in you. He might stick around for a good time, but he's not going to stay for a long time, which is why these women be in their 30s, they got baby daddies, and you understand why they are not married. It's common sense at this particular point.
These are men that I have dated, yes.
You had a relationship with them?
Yes.
Did it get to the intimate level?
Yes.
So you'll date a man, have sex with a man, but you don't submit to him.
She'll date a man, have sex with a man, but she won't submit to him. Like I told you, she didn't slept with multiple men. She didn't require any of these things for the men that she slept with. They're not going to require any of these things from the men that they have babies with. They'll have baby daddies. Didn't require marriage from none of their baby daddies. Didn't require marriage from none of the men that they gave their body to. Now they're in their 30s. Now they're in their 30s, and they're desperate looking for a simp that's willing to look past all of their character flaws. These women be in their 30s and they are desperate, hoping that they can find some simp who is willing to look past all of their character flaws. Red Supreme is breaking down the law.
But I feel like
But why are you having sex with a man who doesn't have his shit together? You knew that before you did all that.
Yeah.
because sometimes it
No,
be more.
what I'm
Listen, I'm answering
what I'm
your
pointing out
question.
is you.
Shout out to Scoop for the super chat. He said that box is not the prize. Scoop said that box is not the prize. Right? Sometimes that box is attached to the wrong woman. Shout out to Bastion, man. He said salute from West Australia by the way of East Oakland. Shout out to the super chat. Shout out to Royalty for the cash. So let's get some more of you brothers to become supporters. If you want more content like this, I'll drop content like this. I'll do my red pill shows first thing in the morning, and we'll get right back to the black fatigue, white fatigue, and the political conversations on my midday shows. You already know.
Date men. We all pick who we date.
But can I answer your question, please?
We've already answered it.
I didn't. You asked me why am I having sex with someone who doesn't have their shit together? So let me answer it, please.
No. You pick the man.
She's a sex fiend. She can't stay away from the D. She loves vitamin D. The reason why she'll have sex with a man but won't submit to him, she'll submit her body to the man, but she's not gonna submit when it comes to her being submissive overall. She'll just submit her body. So she don't require none of these things for the men she sleeps with. So if you don't require these things for the men that you sleep with, why would a man of standards, why would a man that has his stuff together look at you and see value? He's not going to look at you and see value. You didn't require any of these things for the men that you slept with. These women are backwards. And listen, this is why I don't really have no respect for a lot of these pro-black simps. They overlook the fact that our community is oversaturated with women like this, and they refuse to address these issues. They pretend like this is not a problem at all. And they make videos talking about tethers, immigrants, and white supremacists, but they ignore nonsense like this from the women in their own community. They ignore nonsense like this from the women in their own community. And you want to make content talking about tethers, immigrants, and white supremacists, but at the same time, you ignore stuff like this. Now, shout out to Tariq Nasheed, because Tariq Nasheed spent a long time breaking down female nature with the Mac lessons thing. So shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed is one of the realest brothers in the FBA pro-black community because Tariq Nasheed addressed this stuff for years with the Mac lessons content. So I'm not talking about Tariq Nasheed when I say this. I'm talking about the rest of you pro-blacks. You ignore the fact that our community is oversaturated with women like this. You ignore that. And you talk about tethers, immigrants, and white supremacists, but you ignore nonsense like this.
So you asked me a question.
You
but I can't
pick the
answer.
man you date.
That's not fair. So listen, sometimes
No,
it's more
listen,
about
See, this is the way this is going to go.
You have a connection.
This is the way this is going.
connect with
This is the way
someone.
this is going to go. It's going to go this way because I'm trying to run the show. I know the questions I'm asking. It's not about being.
But you're not letting me
I don't need
answer
to
the
know.
question.
Okay, look here, lady. You're about to. It's about to end up really bad. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think you really want to do that because you come on here trying to get some information to find out something. And I asked you what your flaws are. You're already shown that you're not introspective enough to even understand what's going on. You said the problem is I can't submit to a man who don't have his shit together. But you chose to date somebody who didn't have his shit together. You chose to have sex with somebody who didn't have his shit together. So you can't say I'm not going to submit to somebody that I chose.
But also, at the same time, you didn't let me answer your question, which I would really love to. And also, not only for you, but for the audience.
I'm okay with the audience.
Can I please answer the question? I'm trying to submit to you right now and answer the question. So, like I was saying, sometimes as humans, we connect with people, okay? Like,
Shout out to Go-Go for the cat. Shout out to Go-Go for the super chat. I appreciate you for the super chat, my brother. Let's continue on with the content. Realer than rap, no cap. Let's get back to the content. Let me tell you something. Women like this are only good. Listen, men will slide through for a good time, but they're not going to stick around for a long time, which is why women like this never get married. Men just love to have sex with them, but that's as far as it goes. Right?
a vibe. We call it vibes now. You catch the vibe, and sometimes you might really have a certain vibe with someone who is so strong and so connected that he might. So we might be there on that level of connection and chemistry. But he has shit that he needs to get together, and I might be a step above where he's at, okay? So
You're not a step above where he's at. You're delusional. Listen, homie, I don't care what these women tell you. You got to judge them for who they really are, not for who they claim to be. If these women are in their late 20s, 30s, and they're not married, that's because they're not good women. If a woman has good box, she's a good companion. She brings companionship, good box, and she's a good woman. Somebody would have wiped her up already. I mean, I'm serious, family. I need you guys to hit the like button. Listen, if a woman has good box, a great personality, feminine and submissive, great box, and she's a good woman, somebody would have wiped her up already. Some of these women do have good box, but they're terrible women to deal with. They're not worth dealing with long term. They're only good for hooking up and having sex with them because some of these women have great sex and good box. But when you get to know them as a person, they have a lot of character flaws. They're combative. They're not feminine. They're overly opinionated. They run their mouth too much. They don't know when to be quiet. So the only reason that you're going to show up to deal with them is to get the box. So you will slide through for a good time, but you're not going to stick around for a long time. And unfortunately, a lot of women in our community fall in that category.
So we might be there on that level of connection. And
if a woman is in her 30s, if she was a good woman, if she had good box and she was a good woman, she wasn't argumentative and combative, somebody would have wiped her up by now. Somebody would have already wiped her up if she was a good woman and she had good box and she was feminine and submissive. Somebody would have wiped her up. The only thing they bring to the table in a lot of cases is good box. Outside of that, they bring nothing of value to the table, which is why these women be in their 30s, baby daddies, and they're unmarried. Now you understand why. I just broke it down to a science.
Chemistry. But he has shit that he needs to get together, and I might be a step above where he's at. Okay. So I'm a homeowner. I have cars. I have a good career, and me and him connect with personalities and the chemistry and the sex. Okay. But he is not where I would like him to be, maybe financially. What's that mean? Time out?
Yeah. Because everything you just said, I don't know what you think you just.
Listen, homie, I'm going to repeat this multiple times through the show. If a woman had good box and she was friendly, submissive, she wasn't combative, and she was a good person, somebody would have wiped her up by now. So when you see these women in their 30s with multiple baby daddies and they're not married, there's good reason for them not being married. The box might be good, but she's impossible to deal with. So when you see these women in their late 20s and 30s and they're not married, you understand that they're not married for good reason. There's good reason for that. Don't let them fool you and tell you that the men are the problem. If she was such a great woman, if she had good box and she was a great woman, feminine, cooperative, and submissive, trust and believe, homie, somebody would have wiped her up by now if she brought all of those things to the table. The only thing a lot of these women bring to the table is good box. Outside of bringing good box, they have nothing of value that they bring to the table. And that is why so many women in their 30s got baby daddies and they're unmarried.
If you can have your cars and everything, we don't care about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
My question is this. Why can't you deal with a man? Why can't you pick a man who has his shit together up front?
I can. That's what I go for. But like,
why can't you get a man who has his shit together up front?
I do. I have a lot of options. I mean, I'm dating.
Ma'am, I asked you about your flaws and weakness, and you said, I can't submit to a man who's don't have his shit together. And all you did is basically explain the fact that if you can get with a man who ain't got his shit together, you got time to get with a man who does have his shit together. The question is, will he pick you?
The reality of it is men with their stuff together don't want her for a long time. They only deal with her for a good time. Men with their stuff together, men of value with good credit, savings, and money only want to deal with her for a good time. They're not going to stick around for a long time. And her character flaws is the reason that men don't stick around for a long time. They only show up for a good time. Don't let them tell you no different. Red Supreme is giving you the facts, the hard-hitting facts that most of these ladies don't want to deal with.
I'm picking who I vibe with, and the niggas I vibe with be the broke ones.
So she said the men that she vibe with be the broke ones. So they supply the pipe late at night, which means they stick around for a good time, but they're not going to stick around for a long time.
Yeah. The question is, will he pick you?
I'm dating.
Ma'am, I asked you about your flaws and weakness, and you said, I can't submit to a man who's don't have his shit together. And all you did is basically explain the fact that if you can get with a man who ain't got his shit together, you got time to get with a man who does have his shit together. The question is, will he pick you?
I'm picking who I vibe with, and the niggas I vibe with be the broke ones. They be who I vibe and connect.
The broke men are the only ones who are willing to tolerate you. See, this proves everything I said. She said the dudes that she vibe with are the broke ones, and broke men are the only ones that's willing to tolerate you. Men with good credit, men who make good money don't want to deal with you long term. So they don't vibe with you. It's not that you don't vibe with them. Men with good money, men with standards don't vibe with you. The only men, the men that's willing to tolerate her are the broke men. Men with good credit and money is not gonna wipe her up. They're not.
Connect with on a chemistry level, they don't be there. They don't match up as of right now. They're not connecting. They're not there.
What makes you think a man who's there wants to connect with a woman who calls men niggas and talks about vibes?
You're right. You're right. I need to work on my language. You know what? You had a very valid point
That's what you
there.
got from that?
Yes. I needed to hear that. Yes, you're
So
right.
in other words, men who are at that level, would they pick you?
You're right. And I appreciate this.
What does it matter? So someone has to have a home for you to submit to them?
I would like an independent, stable person as my partner.
Stable meaning what?
Stable meaning they have their own home, they have their own vehicle, they can afford.
Listen, if broke men had sex with you, why would a man who has all of those things together see value in you? See value in you. She didn't require, she had a lot of sex with the broke men, right? So she didn't require any of those things for the men that she had sex with. But now she wants a man with his stuff together with good credit to see value in her. It's not going to happen, baby. There's good reason for you not having a ring. There's good reason for you being unmarried. And it has a lot to do with your personality. It has a lot to do with your mentality. That's why men of means are not wiping you up. They don't see the value in wiping you up. They don't.
A meal. They're not on assistance. That is what stability.
That sounds like an average adult.
Yeah, I would like. So yeah, I would like an.
Ma'am, let's cut to the chase. You're trying to say that you want somebody who's stable, but you describe what we call a luxury lifestyle. You own several cars. You said I own my home, right?
I am a homeowner.
Okay,
yes.
You're paying for it, or you own the home?
I own the home.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go to school?
Cleveland, Ohio.
Where? It's the university.
Cleveland State.
What's your degree in?
Business.
Business what?
Business administration.
And what year did you graduate?
17.
17? What's your career?
I'm doing a little bit of everything.
What's your career or your profession?
Well, I run 2 different bars right now. General manager at 2 different bars. And I make good money.
You run 2 bars?
I do.
How long have you been? You're a general manager at 2 bars.
Yes.
And you graduated with a business what degree?
Administration.
What kind of car do you own?
It's a Jeep. A Jeep Compass.
What's the other one?
I also have a Nissan Rogue.
And you own the house outright?
I own my house. I bought it when I was 24. And I'm 26.
See, it shows you that it doesn't matter. Like women with money and degrees, that doesn't mean that that doesn't make you more attractive just because you own a house. That doesn't make women more attractive, right? Now, it's a good thing, but at the same time, it can be a bad thing because now she believes that she's a quality woman based on the fact that she owns a home, but she's not feminine, she's not submissive. And guess what? Men with value, men of value, men with standards don't see the value in her. Because if men, think about the men with standards and value. if she was such a great woman, a man with value, a man with standards, a man who has his stuff together, would have wifed her up. But unfortunately, men of that status don't see the value of her. Men with that status, men who have their stuff together, don't see the value in dealing with a woman like her. They just don't. So she says she only connect and vibe with the broke ones because those are the only men you qualify for. See, women confuse the game. They think because they have money and an education that somehow that makes them marriage material. Just because you have money and an education, that don't make you wife material. There's a lot of women who are homeowners that have money, but men still don't want to marry them because they don't have the qualities that men are looking for when it comes to a man looking for a wife. You don't have the qualities that men are looking for. Men who are looking for wives don't see the value in dealing with you. That's why you got a whole bunch of broke men who just want to have sex with you. She don't have a problem attracting men who want to have sex with her, but she has a problem attracting men who wants to wife her.
Where the money come from?
My jobs.
It's easy for her to attract a man that want to have sex with her, but she can't attract a man that wants to marry her. So what does that tell you? This woman has a lot of character flaws. She has a ton of character flaws. That's why it's so easy for them to attract men that want to have sex with them, but they can't attract a man who wants to wife them. That's why I said, listen, homie, she's met a gang of men that only wanted to have sex with her. They'll tolerate her to get her box, but men don't want to deal with her long term. They only deal with her for a good time. They don't want to stick around for a long time. She don't have a problem attracting men for sex. She has a problem attracting men who wants to marry her. Let's continue. Shout out to the Godfather, Kevin Samuels. I had to do this video.
I bartend, and I also am the general manager.
You graduated in 2017, so that was it. You both been out of school for 4 or 5 years. You made enough money.
My credit is good. It was mainly off of credit.
Good credit, but you made enough money to buy a home in a
Yes.
2-year period?
Yes. Is that shocking?
If you say you own the deed, yeah.
Really? I mean, do you think I'm lying or something?
Oh, no, ma'am, I'm asking.
It was mainly off of
Excuse
credit.
me.
To be honest,
See, when you hear me talking, due respect, ma'am, you're supposed to stop. You can't. I don't know why women think you're going to talk over a man or through a man. See, if men were to do that, it will come down to a fight.
Really? A fight? A physical fight?
Yes, because you're trying to overtalk someone. That means you're trying to dominate a conversation. Why do you think that's acceptable to try to overtalk a man? Because you heard me talking. And you're laughing, but again,
yeah, because it's comical to me.
I bet you'll see it on replay. It's comical to you to think that you date men who can't get their shit together, but look at the way you talk and the way you're acting. And I ask you, can you get with a man at that level? Because this aggressive kind of domineering behavior.
Am I being aggressive?
What do you think? Do you think your voice is bigger than mine? Is it deeper than mine? Then why are you trying to overtalk me when I speak?
I'm a woman.
But
why would my
when I
voice...
talk, you're still trying to raise your voice and get higher.
Well, I'm a woman, and my voice can definitely not be deeper than yours.
You're female. You're female. I'll give you that one. And the issue is, again, man.
Oh, so you don't agree that I am a woman?
I don't know you, but I'm telling you.
So I'm not a woman? I'm a female?
You're woman, female, lady, different things. But what I'm telling you is,
she is a female. Listen, ladies, if you done had multiple sex partners, that means that there's a lot of men out there who sampled your box. So if you was a good woman with a good personality, you were feminine and submissive, somebody would have wiped you up already. The only thing she brings to the table is good sex. Outside of that, men don't want to deal with her, because if this woman possessed the things that men really wanted from a woman, they would have wiped her up already. Men only stick around to get box from her. Men are not going to stick around to wipe her up. And unfortunately, there's a lot of women in our community who fall in this category. A lot of men want to have sex with them, but these men do not want to wife them. She's delusional. She can't see her own character flaws, which means she's not worth dealing with long term. She's only worth dealing with for a good time. She's not worth dealing with for a long time, which is why no man of value has married her.
What I'm seeing is, you said it yourself. Men have told you you're aggressive.
They told me that I am what?
Aggressive.
No.
It don't matter what men tell them. Like I said, men tell women what they want to hear to sleep with them, and that's the problem. If more men was honest with these women, they would see their character flaws. Let me say, listen, out of 10 men, you might have one man that's going to be honest with them, 2 at the most. So if 8 men out of 10 are telling them what they want to hear, and you only have 2 men that are telling them the truth, then they're going to roll with the majority. They're going to say, well, the majority of men are saying this. Well, the majority of men only tolerate you to have sex with you, but there's good reason for them not wifing you up. The majority of men are going to tell you what you want to hear to sleep with you. A small minority of men will be honest with you, but the majority of men will lie to you just to have sex with you. So if you had sex with all these men that told you what you wanted to hear, but none of those men who told you what you wanted to hear wifed you up, that should tell you something. You should be able to see the bigger picture. You should say to yourself, okay, these men are telling me nice things, but they're not marrying me. Common sense should say, well, they only want to have sex with me because if they saw value in me, they would have wiped me up already. But women are delusional. They live in a fantasy. They're not in tune with reality. The majority of men out here will tell you what you want to hear. None of those men who had sex with you wife you up. They only tolerate you to get boxed, and they'll lie to you in order to have access to your box.
What you said earlier. In any event, the issue that I'm saying, is like anybody else is saying, is you don't even know what's going on with you.
The reason why these women stay delusional because a lot of men lie to them to have access to their box. Most men will lie to women to have access to their box, but a small minority of men will be honest with them. So do you think they're going to believe the small minority of men who tell them the truth, or do you think they're going to believe the majority of men who lie to them to have access to their box? But this should tell these women something. Yes, you have men that are telling you what you want to hear to have access to your box, but none of those men that are telling you nice things, them niggas ain't married you either. None of those men who told you what you wanted to hear have wifed you up. Yeah, you got a large majority of men that will say nice things to you, but none of them have married you either. Something should register in your mind. You should say, okay, they're telling me what I want to hear. They're saying things to me to make me feel better about myself, but they're not even wifing me up. Why? Because they're saying nice things to have access to your box, but none of those men have wifed you up either. So that ought to tell you something. But you know what she's going to say? Well, I don't want to marry those men. Okay, so you will have sex with these men, but you don't want to marry these men. That's more reason for a man of value to not wife you up, because what she's saying is she's had sex with tons of men who said nice things to her, who's made her feel better, but she didn't get married to none of those guys because they don't have money. They don't have their stuff together. Well, listen here, sweetie. Broke men are the only men who would consider you, who would take you serious. Men with money don't want to take you serious. She said it herself. She only connects with the broke guys. Well, broke men are the only men who see value in you. Men with options, money, and standards don't see the value in you, which is why they're not knocking at your door to wife you up. Men of standards, men with values, men with their stuff together, they're not knocking on your door to wife you up. That is why she said, well, I only connect with the broke ones. Yeah, because broke men are the only men that's willing to take you serious.
So what would you suggest for me?
Therapy.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral therapy. We attract what we are.
We attract who we are.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, due respect your money and everything else, that matters not to us.
So what do you suggest that I change or that I do to get a man that I deserve and that who also deserves me?
No, the men that you sleep with are the men that you deserve. You don't deserve a man of high value when you don't deserve a man of high status. You don't deserve a man of high value when you didn't give your body to men that are broke. Because she said it herself, I connect with broke men. So if you connect with broke men, those are the only men who are willing to take you serious. Those are the men that you deserve. You don't deserve a man that's better than that.
I believe
What do you mean a man
know I'm a
what do you mean a man that you deserve?
She talking about the man that I deserve. How come you didn't save your body for the man that you deserve? You gave your body to broke men. See this, let me tell you something, brothers. If you meet a woman that's already had baby daddies and she didn't slept with broke men that she feel that doesn't deserve her, why would you wife her up and she didn't already slept with men who didn't deserve her? So she'll give her body to men, but she don't want to submit to those men. But she's saying, I feel like I want to get married to a man that I want to get married to a man that I deserve. But she'll give her body to broke men. The reality of it is this: broke men are the only men that's willing to take her serious. Men of means, men who have good credit, men who make good money is not going to take her serious. They don't look at her as wife material. Not men of means, not men with money, not men with their stuff together. Broke men are the only men who are willing to take her serious. And that's for good reason.
What do I mean by a man that I deserve?
Mm-hmm.
A good man. What I'm asking is, based off of what you've heard from me and what I've provided the information about me, what do you think that?
To be real, this woman is overweight, man. She's overweight, bro. A man with good credit, a man with good credit and his money together could get a woman that's in shape, could get a woman that's more feminine, could get a woman that's more submissive, to get a woman with a better personality. Why would he deal with some woman who has multiple sex partners? She done gave her body to broke men. Now she's desperate, looking for a man of means, a man with value to wipe her up when she done already gave her body to men who don't have no money, men with no substance, because she has no substance. So she doesn't deserve a man with substance because she doesn't have any. Let me tell you something, lady. Men with good credit, men who make good money, they're not looking to wife up women like you. The men you qualify for, the men that she slept with are the men that she qualifies for. She thinks because I have a house and an education material. Let me tell you something, ladies. Your education, your money and occupation does not make you wife material. No, it does not. None of that makes you wife material. Talking about I want to get a man that I deserve. You deserve the same man that you've been sleeping with. Let me tell you something, lady. You deserve the same man that you've been sleeping with. That's what you deserve.
That I need to do in order for me to be satisfied in a good relationship? What do you think that I need to do, or what do I need to change about myself?
Natalie?
She don't look good, man. This woman got weave in her hair. She got makeup. She got eyelashes, and she's overweight with a bad attitude. She's not in tune with the reality. She's living in a fantasy. This woman is not a catch to any man with his stuff together. She is not. This woman is no catch for a man that has his stuff together. She is not.
Huh?
How old are you?
How old am I?
How old are you?
I am 5'4" and I weigh 200 pounds. So I'm thick.
You're not thick, you're fat. If you're 5'4" and 200 pounds, you are fat. A woman that's 5'4" should not weigh 200 pounds. She's delusional. I told you she was delusional. I told you she lives in a fantasy and she ain't in tune with reality. If you're 5'4", you shouldn't weigh 200 pounds. You are fat. You are obese. A woman who's 5'4" shouldn't be a woman that's 5'4" shouldn't be anywhere close to 200 pounds. She got weave in her head. She has unrealistic expectations. She's delusional. She done gave her body to a lot of broke men, and she's wondering why she wonders why that men with value don't want to marry her. Men of value don't see the men of means don't see the value in you. 5'4" and 200 pounds. And you wonder why you can only get broke men that take you serious. 5'4", but you're 200 pounds. Man, please.
It's not thick. That's obese.
Okay.
I'm 6'4" and you weigh as much as me. That's not thick. It's obese.
Kevin Samuels is 6'4", and you're 5. Man, listen, homie. Kevin is 6'4". She's 5. If you're 5'4" and you're 200 pounds, that tells me that men are only using you for sex. Broke men will show up for sex. Men of means, men with good credit, men who makes good money, they're not looking to wife up women like you. You're overweight, you're out of shape, you're delusional, you're not feminine, you're not submissive. Men with options are not looking to wife up women like you. This is the reason that she says she only vibes with broke men. Why? Because broke men are the only guys that are willing to take her serious.
You want my measurements?
I don't care. It's obese. More than a 30 BMI is obese, man. 5'4", 200 pounds is larger than the average running back.
You want me a running back?
I said 5'4", 200 pounds is larger than the average running back, height, weight adjusted.
Okay.
And calling it thick is a problem.
Okay.
I'll tell you why it's a problem, because it's unhealthy. That's number one. Number two, you say deserve. What do you want to be married?
Yes.
You want children?
I don't have children. I like to
So
plan
you
my
want children?
children. Yes, I want to plan them with my husband.
How many kids would you like to have? How many kids would you like to have?
I definitely believe that I am a boy mom, so I would like one son, but my max would be 3 kids.
How many kids would you like to have?
3 would be my max.
Exactly. She's a mini refrigerator, 5'4", and she's 200 pounds. And she got the nerve to say, I'm thick. No, lady, you are fat. You are obese. A woman at 5'4" shouldn't even be closer to a woman who's 5'4" shouldn't even be close to 200 pounds. Then you got to deal with the fact that she's delusional. She's not feminine. She's not submissive. She has unrealistic expectations. So those of us with common sense understands why she don't have a ring. We understand why she's not married. Men who can provide a certain lifestyle for a woman is not looking for somebody like her. Men who could provide a certain lifestyle, they're not looking for a woman like her.
Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're married and pregnant with the first kid?
I would like to be a stay-at-home mom.
What'd your mother do for a living?
My mother is a nurse.
What'd your father do for a living?
My father was never involved.
Okay. What'd your grandmother do for a living?
She was also a nurse.
What'd your grandfather do for a living?
He was not involved either.
Were you raised to be a stay-at-home wife?
I'm sorry?
Were you raised to be a wife?
See, this is why I refuse to listen to these pro-blacks that talk about tethers, immigrants, and white supremacists all day. But they ignore nonsense like this. Black women have the lowest rates of marriage in America, but pro-blacks don't want to talk about that. And this is a major problem in our community, and these pro-black simps ignore situations like this. How could you ignore the elephant in the room? Black women are the least married group of women in America for good reason. And I'm not saying that because I'm not saying that because I dislike black women. I love black women, but I have to be honest with them. There's a reason for them being the lowest. There's a reason for them having the lowest rates of marriage. There's good reason for that. That's not by coincidence. See, a lot of you pro-black simps, you ignore the fact that black women are blaming black men for why they're not getting married. But they're not looking in the mirror and saying, well, maybe this is why we're not getting married. You pro-black simps, you tolerate nonsense from black women and you don't hold them accountable. You don't tell them the truth. They run around the black community demonizing black men and blaming black men for why they have the lowest rates of marriage when none of these women are willing to look in the mirror. Well, the majority of them are not willing to look in the mirror because some of them will, but the majority of them will not. They blame, listen, homie, let me know if I'm telling you guys the truth. We all know that black women are blaming black men for them having the lowest rates of marriage. They blame black men for that. And you got these pro-black simps who ignore these conversations as if this is not a major problem in the black community. Black women in America have the lowest marriage rates for good reason. But pro-black simps in the black community refuse to address this. You got black women running around blaming black men for them having the lowest rates of marriage, but none of these women hold themselves accountable for why they're not. These women don't hold themselves accountable for why they're not qualified to get the type of men they want. They're not qualified to get the type of men that they want. So, and instead of, they'll never admit that. So instead of them admitting that, they'll just demonize black men. Well, this black men fault why black women had the lowest rates of marriage. No, it has a lot to do with your behavior. A lot of these black women feel like they can sleep around with different men, and have baby daddies with men who never married them. But in their mind, they feel like they can find a man of high value and status to wife them up later when they never required none of this from the men they slept with. They never required marriage from their baby daddies. They never required marriage from none of the men that they slept with. But they feel like in their 30s, they can get a man of high value to wife them up. I'm sick of you pro-black simps because you ignore these issues. You ignore these problems. And you don't tell these women the truth, which is why they are still delusional. Black women in America have the lowest rates of marriage for good reason. And I'm not saying this because I hate black women. I'm saying this because I want them to wake up and smell what's really going on. You don't have the lowest rates of marriage in America by coincidence. It's for good reason. Well, the reason that black women in America have the lowest rates of marriage, that's because black men don't want to marry them. No, a lot of these women are promiscuous and they sleep around. They're promiscuous. They sleep around and they got multiple baby daddies in their 30s. Then they complain about why they're not getting married. And I'm sick of you pro-black simps for not addressing this. These pro-black simps ignore these issues as if it doesn't exist. They ignore the elephant in the room. They'll show up to talk about tethers. They'll show up to talk about immigrants. They'll show up to talk about racist white people. But none of these pro-black simps will show up to address the issue why black women in America have the lowest rates of marriage. None of these pro-black simps will show up to have this conversation. Why? Because they're too afraid to offend black women.
Well, what it sounds like is, it sounds, from what I just said, it sounds like I was raised to be a single mother, but that's not what I want.
That's not what I said. I asked when you raised to be a wife.
She was raised to be a single mother. If you was raised by a single mother, all she can teach you is how to be a single mother. That's the only thing she can teach you. Listen, homies, bless the Cash App. Let's get some more contributors and supporters for this gang. Red Supreme, $Red 1803 for the knowledge and information. These pro-black simps allow these black women to slander black men. They blame black men for them having the lowest rates of marriage in America. But none of these pro-blacks say, hold on, sister, I love you, but I'm going to tell you right now why you're not getting married. And it has a lot to do with your mentality. It has a lot to do with your personality. But most of these pro-black simps won't be honest with black women about why they're not getting married. See, it's easy for black women to have sex partners. It's easy for black women to have sex partners. It's easy for black women to have baby daddies. But the hardest thing for an American black woman to do is to get married. That's the hardest thing for her to do. She can have sex partners. Sex partners comes easy for a black woman. Baby daddies comes easy for a black woman. But marriage is the hardest thing for a black woman to achieve in America. That's the reality, no fantasy. And I don't say this because I hate black women. I'm telling you the truth. It's easy for them to get sex partners. It's easy for them to have baby daddies. The hardest thing for a black woman in America to accomplish is to have a husband, is to get married. That's the hardest thing for them to accomplish. The easiest thing for a black woman to do is rack up bodies, to have sex partners, to become a baby mama, to have baby daddies. That's the easiest thing for them to do.
Well, what it sounds like is, it sounds, from what I just said, it sounds like I was raised to be a single mother, but that's not what I want.
That's not what I asked when you raised to be a wife.
Yes, I mean, my mom definitely raised me and my sister to be women, you know, respectful women. She raised us as ladies, young ladies.
I said a wife.
Yes, I was raised to be a wife. Yes.
Shout out to school, man. A husband is something that you earn. A husband ain't something that you deserve. Why is it so easy for black women to have sex partners? Why is it so easy for black women to become baby mamas? But the hardest thing for them to accomplish is for them to become somebody's wife. That's the hardest thing for them to accomplish. The easiest thing that a woman could do is find a man that want to have sex with them. That's easy. That's the easiest thing for a woman to do, is to get a man that want to have sex with them. The easiest thing for a black woman to do is become a baby mama, to have a baby daddy. But the hardest thing for her to accomplish is to be married, to have a family. She can get an education. It's easy for her to get an education. It's easy for her to have sex partners. It's easy for her to become a baby mama. But the hardest thing for black women in America to accomplish is, the hardest thing for them to accomplish is for them is them becoming somebody's wife, for them to become married. That's the hardest thing for them to accomplish. Now, every now and then you find a black woman that might find a simp that'll wipe them up, but black women have the lowest rates in America, and that's for good reason. That's not a coincidence. A lot of black females are not in tune with reality. They don't operate from common sense.
Do you disagree?
I'm asking questions, man. You say your mom wasn't a wife and she raised you.
I'm not late. The passport movement is old, kid Kaya. The passport movement is nothing new. A lot of those brothers, and shout out to the passport brothers, but a lot of those passport brothers are, listen, I don't want to say anything negative about the passport brothers. I don't want to say anything negative about them, but a lot of these guys are paying for sex. I'm not saying all of them are paying for sex, but a lot of these guys in the passport movement are paying for sex. Listen, man, let's continue.
How did she raise you to be a wife? What did she tell you, train you, show you that you need to do for a man?
And listen, and when these women do get married, the marriage don't last, and it don't last for good reason. Some of these women have been married, but it don't last, and it don't last for good reason. No man is going to tolerate them long term. No man is going to tolerate them for a long time. He might stick around for a good time, but he's not going to stick around for a long time. When a lot of these women do get married, it don't last. So it was a waste of time of you wiping this woman up in the first place. They didn't already, listen, unfortunately, this is the situation in the black community. A lot of these women have baby daddies, and they didn't already had multiple sex partners. Why would you wipe up a woman who has baby daddies and already had multiple sex partners? You're not going to get anything from this woman. She took in energy and sperm from multiple men, and that has altered her personality that has affected her that's affected her mental, that has affected her chemistry, it's affected her body. She's took in energies from multiple men. Listen, homie, when a man dumps his sperm inside of a woman, that does something to her mental, that does something to her body, it does something to her personality, it does something to her psyche. So if a woman has multiple baby daddies, that means that she has all these energies and different personalities living within inside of her. Right? If you don't believe me, it's scientifically proven. A woman with multiple baby daddies has mental issues. She has the DNA of different men that still lives inside of her. So it affects her mentally. It affects her psychologically. It affects her body. It affects her spiritually. A woman with multiple baby daddies is damaged goods. She has the energy of different men living inside of her. So when you meet her, she got all these energies from different men that still lives inside of her, man. This is scientifically proven. This is scientifically proven. You ain't got to take my word for it. Women with multiple baby daddies are mentally unstable. They're emotionally unstable. You ain't got to take my word for it. Do your research, study it for yourself. He's just bashing. I'm not bashing women. I'm telling the truth. Shout out to Lions Dollars for the cash out. Let's get some more you brothers to support this beautiful game. Good game delivered by your player partner, King Supreme.
Well, she definitely taught us how to take care of ourselves as women. And she definitely taught us how to take care of our home. I would say she definitely raised us to be independent women. And it was never,
Ma'am, I asked the question.
If your mother raised you to be an independent woman, that means that she didn't raise you to be a wife. And it makes perfect sense why you didn't have all these sex partners and nobody has wiped you up by now. Your mother raised you to be an independent woman. Your mother raised you to be a single mother. She didn't raise you to become somebody's wife. Now we understand why you're not married today, because you have unrealistic expectations. You're not living in reality. You're stuck in a fantasy. Unfortunately, a lot of black women raise their daughters to become independent women and single mothers. They're not raising their daughters to become wives because they're not teaching them a damn thing. She don't know nothing, so how can she teach her daughter something? The mother doesn't know nothing, so how can she teach her daughter something? Her mother has bad credit. Her mother doesn't have money. She don't have savings. She ain't got nothing. So what could she really teach her daughter? Absolutely nothing. You taught your daughter how to become a single mother.
Answer, what did your mother raise you to? She train you to do for a...
And I'm answering it, if I may.
Young lady, I don't know who you're dealing with. I'm really trying with you. But I will tell you this the last time. It's going to end real bad if you keep doing that.
Why?
Because I don't play that.
You don't play what? I don't want to play either.
When I ask and I say something, that's what it is.
Okay.
And you're talking if I may. No, I gotta ask. At the end of the day, ma'am, you're not answering the question. You weren't raised to be a wife. You were raised to be an independent woman. Fine. But then you want to be a housewife.
You can't be a housewife if you was raised to be an independent woman and a single mother. You don't qualify to become somebody's house. You don't qualify to become somebody's housewife. You don't. A lot of black women, unfortunately, they're raising their daughters to become single mothers with these foolish teachings. The easiest thing for a black woman to do is to become a single mother. The easiest thing for them to do is to have sex partners. But the hardest thing for them to do is to become somebody's wife. That's the hardest thing for a black woman to do, is to become somebody's wife. It's easy for them to sleep around. It's easy for them to accumulate multiple bodies. It's easy for them to have baby daddies. But the hardest thing for a black woman to accomplish in America is to become somebody's wife. The easiest thing for them to do is to sleep around and to become somebody's baby mama. That's the easiest thing that they can do. That requires little to no effort.
But you're not. You weren't raised to be a wife, but alone a housewife.
So what was I raised to be?
What you are?
Which is an independent woman.
Independent, modern woman.
So I cannot be a wife. I can't be a housewife.
No, you can't.
No.
No.
Why is that?
Because the men.
If you was raised to be an independent woman, you don't qualify to be anybody's wife, which is why you've done nothing but accumulate different sex partners. So it makes perfect sense that she didn't had a lot of sex partners. It makes perfect sense why she's not married. You was raised to be an independent woman and a single mother. You were not trained to be anybody. You wasn't taught how to become somebody's wife. Your mother didn't teach you. Your mother has failed you. That's the reality that a lot of females in this country, they don't want to deal with that. Society and your mother has taught you how to become an independent woman and a single mother. She didn't raise you how to become somebody's wife. Why you think she said earlier in this stream, she said, well, I connect with the broke men. Yeah, because broke men are the only ones that's willing to take you serious. Men of means, men with good credit, men who make good money don't see the value in wiping up a woman like you because you done already gave your body up to broke men. So if you done already gave your body up to broke men and you have multiple sex partners, why would a man of value look at you as wife material? Why would a man of value look at you as wife material? Doesn't make sense.
What you are?
Which is an independent woman.
Independent, modern woman.
So I cannot be a wife. I can't be a housewife.
No.
Why is that?
Because the men who can afford housewives want housewives. They don't want independent women. See, men who can afford.
Listen, homie. Men with good credit that make good money, they're not looking for independent women. They're not looking for women who had multiple sex partners. They can get women who are better. They can get women who are younger. They can get women who are cooperative, feminine, and submissive. They don't have to settle for promiscuous, independent women. These independent women are promiscuous. Men of means, men with value are not looking to wife up independent women who are promiscuous. She's an independent woman who is promiscuous. She told you earlier in this show, she said that she connects with broke men because broke men are the only ones that's willing to take her serious. She's accumulated several bodies because the only men that take her serious are broke men. So why would men of means, why would men of value look at you as wife material? They're not going to look at you as wife material. That is why women like you don't get married. That is why women like you become single mothers and independent women. There's good reason for that.
A housewife.
So what was I raised to be?
What you are?
Which is an independent woman.
Independent, modern woman.
So I cannot be a wife. I can't be a housewife.
No.
Why is that?
Because the men who can afford housewives want housewives. They don't want independent women. See, men who can afford to have a housewife get to pick. And they want women who were raised to know what to do for a man.
Okay.
So you can want it, but you got to get a man who can provide it.
So I was raised.
You have to get a man to. You can want it, but it doesn't matter if you can't get a man who can provide.
You can want it, but it doesn't mean that you deserve it. You might want it, but it doesn't mean that you deserve it. If you want to go to a certain college, you must qualify to get into that college. If you want a certain type of man, you must qualify to be with that man. See, women were taught that just because they have a vagina that they deserve a man. No, you don't deserve a man. You must earn a man. Your mother has bad credit. She's unmarried, and that's for good reason. She made terrible decisions. Unfortunately, she's made bad decisions. So what could she really teach you moving forward? Absolutely nothing.
So,
who wants to give it to you.
can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Do you think, in your opinion, that I am someone who cannot be a housewife based upon what I told you?
No, because if you qualify to be somebody's housewife, a man of means, a man with value would have scooped you up already. You said that you only attract broke men because broke men are the only ones that are willing to take you serious. So no, you don't qualify to be anybody's housewife. You just don't.
If I answer the question, yes.
I can be?
No.
Opinion?
No.
And why is that?
For the second and last time, who gets to pick? Men or women? Who gets to pick? You're talking about being a housewife.
So you're answering my question with a question.
Not working. That means a man would have to be able to provide for you and 3 kids the lifestyle that you're talking about.
Okay,
how much money would a man need to make? How much would a man need to make?
Before you hang up on me, I just recognize you're not answering my question.
All right, get the fuck off my show.
So she's 26, she's single, and she's having a hard time finding a good man. She says she's attractive, she says she's friendly, and she genuinely doesn't understand why she's not already engaged or in a serious relationship. And you know what? On the surface, she might check a lot of the boxes. Young, looks good.
No, she don't check a lot of boxes on the surface. She's 5'4" and she's 200 pounds. She don't check the boxes on the surface. No, she does not. You're delusional yourself, and you're trying to break this down from an analytical perspective. But trust me, homie, 5'4" and 200 pounds. She don't check the boxes physically. She does not. A woman that's 5'4" should be nowhere close to 200 pounds. You see, only 5'4", nobody's gonna wipe you up. Men will show up for a good time, but they're not gonna stick around for a long time. I'm just giving you the facts. Deacon Weasel said these women run men off quicker than the police. You're damn right they run men off quicker than the damn police. Let me tell you something, ladies. If you're 5'4" and you're 200 pounds, you are no catch to any man. You are not. A woman that's 5'4" shouldn't be anywhere. A woman that's 5'4" shouldn't be anywhere close to 200 pounds. No. Hit the like button, man, and support the show. I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. It's your Play Upon the Red Supreme. Make sure that you like this stream. I got to get up out of here, y'all. I'm gone. Peace, love, and blessings. Support the content. Yeah.